Yes. Jensen waved a casual hand. Well, that's good to know. He sat up, blinking away as if we were done, and I caught the devious smile as he began to stand. You wanker, I said, laughing and leaning forward to smack his shoulder. He caught my hand with his, pressing it just over where his heart hammered beneath his breastbone. His expression shifted away from that playful smile. He suddenly seemed so unguarded. Take it easy on me, he said quietly. I will. He continued to stare, his meaning growing clearer the longer our eyes held. Do you want to put on a movie? I asked. I'm suddenly sympathetic to any prostitute ever who isn't sure how to get the ball rolling. He stared at me, bewildered, before shaking his head and laughing. I doubt I'd ever be able to predict what comes out of that mouth next. I mean, I don't care what we do. I want you to come over here and relax. I really just wanted him beside me, warm and strong, curled up nearby. We had a week and a half left together on the trip. I could work up to sex. And with Jensen, it was about more than that, as terrifying as that truth felt. He leaned for the remote, turned on the TV, and began scrolling through the channels. Our frank conversation had eased the tension somewhat, but it was still there, especially when Jensen selected Goodfellas and turned back to survey where I was sitting cross-legged on the bed. Okay, he asked. There wasn't much else on, I said, nodding, and I love this movie. With a small nod, he put the remote down on his bedside table, seemed to hesitate for a few breaths, and then reached behind his neck, pulling his shirt off. Bloody hell, I whispered. In only a tiny flash, I'd memorized the entire shape of his upper body, and believe me, there was plenty to take in. He held the shirt to his chest. Is this okay? I get really hot, and there's not a fan in here. I'm used to sleeping with a fan. It's fine, I said, waving at him without looking. His chest was a map of muscle, with the perfect amount of hair to make me feel the presence of a motherfucking man in the room with me. He pulled back the covers and we both scooted under them, arranging our limbs carefully so as to not touch. It was an exercise in insanity for me. Jensen in nothing but a pair of shorts beside me in bed. But then, his leg pressed against mine under the covers, warm, the soft slide of his leg hair against my thigh. And with a tiny laugh he reached around me, pulling me so that I was resting my head on his chest.